Which engine should you use? Unity, Unreal, what's best? Especially if you want to make a 3D game or an FPS. I had a chat with Sterling Rank, the co-creator of Ready or Not, a viral tactical FPS that sold millions of copies. The whole game was made in Unreal. Conversely, my first-person shooter, Twisted Tower, is made in Unity. And I was a bit, taken aback in the conversation. See, I'll be honest, I don't love Unity sometimes. And I made it clear to Sterling Rank that honestly, Unity has been a pain to work with for my FPS. But Sterling gave me some insights about Unity and Unreal that might make you think twice about Unreal. So, you finally started working on this game, and it's been almost 8 years? Is that true?
It's gotta be, yeah. When was the reveal trailer? 2017? It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, working on the project for at least a year and a half before that, I think. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's my entire life has been this single project, and it has. I mean, I just finished working on the like an early pass of the creative roadmap for what we need to do, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be here for a while, which is great. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm like, shit, This isn't even close to being done. I want to tell more stories.
That's right. You were building all this in Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you talk to me a little bit about Unreal? Do you have any? I use Unity, and I'm making a first-person shooter, and it has been a pain in the butt. Like, Unity is so clunky when it comes to lighting and shadows and asset streaming and culling. It's an optimization nightmare. So I could say that about Unity. What are your thoughts on Unreal? Like, why did you choose Unreal?
Well, I worked on a bunch of projects that were using Unreal already. That was the first thing. The second thing was that I used C++, which Ryan was familiar with using. So like everyone who was there early on was very familiar with Unreal. And best thing of all was it cost no money to use at the time. Even now, we run Unreal 4.2 or whatever it was. And we would just just enjoying the hell out of it. Like, I think we were just very familiar with it, and we didn't have to pay. We didn't have to pay for anything. At the time, we had no cash at all. We didn't put up the supporter thing. We hadn't even found, Julio hadn't joined the team yet. Like, a lot of stuff like that, right? So it was be as cost effective as possible, because I have $10 in my bank and I have no money. So we can't pay for it,
Do you guys owe per the amount of copies you've sold? Don't you owe Unreal a certain percentage now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Do you find that to be reasonable?
I think so. I think, like, given what they provide you, it depends on who you ask, right? Like, there's that guy on YouTube, another guy on YouTube who's been, making the rounds. Is that, what's his name? He's like I don't know if he's a technical artist or just a programmer, but he's definitely an engineer of some kind. He's very clever. It's that guy who's been kind of deep. I don't know, he's been deep diving Unreal and how much it sucks or whatever, and how unoptimized it is, and how nanites like useless and things. I think I'm very much watering it down.
Do we agree that nanite? Okay.
I've tried nanite. I mean, I've seen the horror stories, and I want to stay away from now. I understand that this stuff can be like pushed out before it's ready. I don't know. It's probably great.
But you're not making an open world game. It's close quarters, indoors, so you can take advantage of occlusion culling. You don't have to render things at far distances, right?
Precisely, yeah. Whoever that guy is, I forgot his name, but he's been making the rounds about whether or not it's like, is this good? Is this, compare it to Decima engine or compare it to like old engines from like 20 years ago and how much better it looked? They have multiple shadows casting. I get it. But what I like about Unreal is that it's accessible. And the thing that they didn't have back then, and this is why a lot of game companies, maybe not game companies, but a lot of indies moved to Unreal and whatnot, is there isn't really much else on the market. What are you going to use? Source? You're going to go and like buy a license from Valve? You're going to make a mod and hope to God that Valve comes and friggin' goes, actually, here you go. Like, there aren't that many options for you. Now, there are. There's Godot engine thing. Looks great. I've seen some cool games. There's a bunch of cool games. You can do like, you could have done back in the day, like Flash games, like Newgrounds, like you're talking about, which would like the pinnacle of gaming, in my opinion. But then you don't have anything else. You have Unity, you got to pay for, and there are issues with Unity, but it is still like a solid engine, and it's great for certain types of games. It's great for any. Tarkov is of FPS, and it's on Unity. You know what I mean? Like, you can achieve whatever you want with any engine. I just think it's like, I get it. I get that people like that are trying to dispel things about the engine, and there are problems with the engine, absolutely things that don't make any sense, and they should be fixed. But unless you can get a license for like Snowdrop or like Decima or anything else, like the Horizon one, I think Horizon might have also been Decima.
Tell me about those. What are those?
Snowdrop's the one that was used for the Division, which is the Division 1 and 2 Snowdrop engine, which was like, you can look online for like tech demos of how it works, and like people talking about how great it is and things. Whether or not that's true is a different story. They might have been chained to their desks at Ubisoft.
Yeah, you never know.
But like, it looks great. Visually, it's very impressive. And the Division holds up. It's a fucking awesome looking game.
Well, for clarity, Unity you don't have to pay for.
Right. Okay. So I don't want to misrepresent it. That's a good point.
However,
back then you had to.
Yes. Yeah. You don't. I don't have to pay anything for Unity. To get rid of the splash screen, you do have to pay.
Well, fair enough.
And then they had this weird. Everybody knows about this, but the weird. You had to pay royalties based on, I can't even remember. It's so distant. They had some kind of algorithm that could determine how many copies you sold. So basically, it's embedded into your build a ticker that checks how many games you've sold. So they're like kind of watching, Oh
my gosh.
So that ended up going away. My problems with Unity it's the optimization. It's been such a pain in the butt. For my first person shooter, it's just been such a pain in the butt, and the lighting doesn't look as good. It just, I don't know why, it just doesn't look good. It looks like a 2005 game. That's kind of what it looks like. Are you trying
to make it look realistic as well? Like, is that a big?
I don't know. My game Twisted Tower is stylized. It has a BioShock. It looks like BioShock.
Cool.
But the lighting, it doesn't look as creamy. I don't know the right word. It doesn't look as creamy, and it might just because of real-time global illumination. It just doesn't work out of the box.
Yeah.
Whereas Unreal, the real-time global illumination does, which is, it's called Lumen, I think, right?
Yeah.
Lumen. It's mainly the optimization stuff. Like the game, my brother, he has a PC that he built, and it's a solid PC. And I was like, hey, can you test my game? And he tested it, and he's like, it's running at 20 FPS. And I have no idea why. And it was because of real-time shadows. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, so I've got to be, and I don't know if this, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is true with Unreal, but with Unity, you got to basically disable shadows, except for like every once in a while have like one light cast shadows.
No, that's true. That's the same with.
Is it true with Unreal?
Oh yeah. The minute you have more than one shadow casting light, say goodbye to your frame rates. Like your GPU just starts dying. It's like you can. That's the like one of the points, right? You can find engines and you can write engines that can handle that. But it's just tricky to do. You can't look. Just depends on where your lights are, and also how far they're visible, what they're shading. I'm testing my tech art knowledge here, and I'm sure Alan will watch this, and he'll be like, "What a tech lead?" He's gonna watch this and be like, "You're so wrong. Like this is incorrect." And I'm like, "Fuck!" But like, it's about the shadows being cast, and like so what you're impacting, the quality of the shadows, distance the shadows are visible. How many lights in one scene are shadow casting, because that's more to render for the GPU, and how many are overlapping. And there's probably a few other things too, also like the type of light. If it's a point light, it goes everywhere. It's omnidirectional.
That's 4 spotlights.
It's a shitload, right? One spotlight, you're good to go. And then a light that doesn't cast a shadow, but it's just illuminating, then that's obviously like, it's not free, but it's in the same pass, like a decal.
It's almost free. Dude, I found that when I disabled, like I had, let's say 300 lights in one scene, and I disabled all the lights and I looked at my stats, the frame rate was not impacted at all.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I was like, wait, so I can have, so baked lighting, I learned bake lighting for 4 or 5 months. I learned how to do all of it. And it's a pain in the butt to learn.
It sucks.
I learned it all. And then I realized, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need to bake lights. The problem was shadows. It was always shadows. So I had Grok. I had Grok. Who did I use? No, I used Claude. I had Claude write an editor tool that disabled all shadow casters from every single object in the game. So it ran through my whole project hierarchy. And this is what's funny is I just wonder, like, why isn't it that Unity tells us this? I don't know. Or just says like, hey, warning, you've got more than 100 objects in the scene that are casting shadows. You need to turn off the casting shadows. But then I also had to go through all my point lights and turn off the shadow casting from those. And I have to go through every level and just fine tune and find like 2 or 3 lights that I really care about. And those are my shadow casters. Is that true with y'all?
In a sense, yeah. Like for us, it's like you can only have so many in a space. And a lot of our levels are like on top of each other, right? There's a lot of verticality. Yeah. So they will still trigger lights that aren't even in a visible area. There's probably ways to program that in so that it turns them off. And it's something that would be really cool to explore, because I'm sure there are smarter ways of doing lighting. But yeah, that's still a problem for us too. You kind of have to pick your battles, pick the areas where the light is going to have the most impact, and then go from there. Because yeah, you can have a shadow caster, you can have a non-shadow caster, and they can still have the same effect. So they draw your eye somewhere. Are they just used for a visual cue? Like, is it just look cool, good for screenshots? Like, there are different reasons why you might do it. And then the hardware too. It might be something where you optimize it for certain, like you optimize it for a baseline hardware, and then you can add extra lights, and that becomes layers that get selected and turned on, depending on how it works. I don't know how it works in Unity, but yeah, that's absolutely an issue. Don't worry, dynamic lighting is a pain in the ass. That's why. But there are custom solutions. I think Unity has a couple really good ones, like that you can get off the store. But it's stressing my knowledge there.